Okay, we're going to start today with a demonstration that is going to show us how to do some hand stitching. As you can see, I don't have my sewing machine out, which is an indication that we're going to be doing some hand sewing and combining some fabrics with using the hand sewing method. We're going to be starting off with basting, and what you need to do is first I would make sure that you have all the supplies that you need, which I have all of my 3.5 by 6 rectangles cut, and they're all within arm's reach. I also have my pins handy. I have a spool of thread, and I also have my hand sewing needles. And so the parts of the hand sewing needle are you have your tip, your sharp tip that's going to go in, and then you have your eye of the needle that the thread passes through. So go ahead and cut yourself, I don't know, maybe about a 2-foot long piece of thread and thread the eye of your needle. And then at the end of it, go ahead and tie a knot. We don't want to tie the threads together. You just want to have one thread thickness, but in order to sew, you need to have a little bit of a tail that you can hang on to, and it can move freely through the eye of the needle. So what I'm doing is I'm using my binder, the instructions that are in my binder, and this is on page 50. We're just going to kind of go through this one step at a time. First of all, we're going to layer our 2 layers of fabric together so that we have our right sides together. So I have 2 layers here with my right sides together, and I've gone ahead and I've threaded my hand sewing needle so that it's 1 thread thick, and I tied a knot at the end. And then I'm going to take my ruler here and just start down, and just so I can give myself a starting point, I'm going to put a little pin here about 1 inch down from the top, and again I'm going to put a pin in over on this side, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in going the long ways. And so then I'm going to come back and just put another pin in here so I can just keep my fabrics together while I'm sewing. And then I'm going to just glance at this again. I'm going to move this one down so just so I can keep about a distance of about 1 inch away from the top here. And then I'm going to set my ruler to the side. I'm going to work from right to left because I'm right-handed, so I can go do and move to the left. But if you're left-handed, I'd start on the left side and move to the right. So what we're going to do, we're doing the basting stitch, and first what you want to do is you want to start on the underneath side and push your thread up through the bottom until it grabs that knot, so you have a good start line. And then again, like I'm going to work from right to left, and we're just going to create some evenly spaced stitches. I'm going to do about 3 to 4. I'm just going to push my needle in, and then I'm going to move it horizontally and pull it out. And that's about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch long. And I'm going to remove my pin, and you can kind of see I'm using red thread, so hopefully you guys will be able to see it. And basting stitches are fairly long. We're trying to do even basting stitches, and these are short, about 1/4 inch long. And then so I'm having about 1/4 inch on top, and then I'm going to go underneath about 1/4 inch and then pull it out. So I should have 1/4 inch on each side, and as you can see, the thread tails are kind of catching. I need to try to grab those before they swing around the corner. So again, I'm going in, catching my needle on the back side, and then pulling that front. And I have as you can see, I have my other hand behind it so I can feel when it goes all the way through and then comes back up. And so I'm just going to flip my sample to the back side, and you can see that my needle is passing all the way through both layers and then coming out the other side. Alright, you can see I have fairly even stitches across this line, about 1/4 inch long, and I'm just going to go back and forth. If it's not perfectly 1/4 inch, it's not the end of the world, and but we want to try to keep them even because we're doing the even basting stitch here. And as you can see, we're moving along pretty fast because basting stitches are fairly long. And I'm getting close to the end here. Alright, just one last time, back to front. So as you can see, I have a row of stitching on the back side, as well as a row of stitching on the front side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick knot here at the end. Alright, and then I can trim those thread tails and label the sample to put it in our binder. Not too bad. If it helps, and this is what I would maybe suggest doing because I can see that I kind of got off a little bit here, maybe take your tailor's chalk, and I have a yellow tailor's chalk. I think some of you guys have different colored ones, and you know, you can go ahead and just mark that line. I can see that I didn't do too bad between those other two pins, but I did get a little bit lower there. So, you know, I think on this next sample I'll use my tailor's chalk. So I'll suggest that you guys do the same for this next sample. So, again, what you're going to want to do is label this method and then place it in your binder.